Hi, my name is Sarah Huck, and I'm the Neighborhood and Family Services Program Manager at the Richmond Village Beacon, which is a program of the Richmond District Neighborhood Center. Every Thursday we meet here at the Richmond District Neighborhood Center, which is located on 30th Avenue near Balboa, to distribute food out to the community. All of our food comes to us from the Food Bank of San Francisco. Once a week, food is dropped off here by the food bank, and we depend on a bunch of different volunteers from different places in the neighborhood to distribute the food out to neighbors that are in need of extra food. In general, the food comes from different farms or different grocery stores that have determined that the food can no longer be sold on shelves, but it's still good to be eaten. So it comes to us and we figure out how to get it into the kitchens and the pantries of the people in the Richmond district. Different volunteers who come and join us here at the food bank, such as the Burke students, will be,
That's okay.
Okay. Different volunteers that come to help us here at the food pantry, like the girls from the Burke School, will be coming and helping us move the food from the back side of the school up to the front and then be able to distribute it out to the neighbors. One of the big things that we have to do is carry food on different trucks and carts, and then we might have to count the food to figure out how much we're going to give to each person. And then we'll be responsible for handing out the food to each person that comes through. It is very important that we are courteous to everybody that comes through, and also that we wear gloves. We try to keep the volume down because there is a nursery and there is a music school that we share the same grounds with. And the food pantry completely depends on volunteers to run. Hold on, I'm gonna talk for a little bit, and then I'm going to ask you for any questions you have, okay? So try to remember it. So without volunteers like you guys, we wouldn't be able to have the food pantry here. It's completely run by volunteers and myself. So what you can expect at the food pantry. So what's going to happen is at 1 o'clock, you guys are still going to be in school. And some of your parents and some other volunteers from the community are going to come here, and all the food gets dropped off in the back, and I'm gonna show you where that is. Hold on one second. So all the food's gonna get dropped off in the back, and everybody's gonna help move the food up to the front to set it up. Does anybody happen to know where the food that we are gonna give away comes from? Yeah.
Farms? Grocery stores?
Yeah, you're right. So the food comes directly from the food bank. Has anybody ever been to or heard about the food bank?
No.
Okay. So the food bank is a place, and they collect all sorts of extra food from around the community. So like you mentioned, a farm. So when local farms, they have too much food or too much product, they donate that to the food pantry or to the food bank because they want the food to go out into the community. But they don't know where to take it to give it to people. So they take it to the food bank. Also grocery stores. Have any of you guys ever been to Fresh and Easy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's right there.
Okay. So when you're at Fresh and Easy.
Everybody, because we took a field trip there.
Good. Okay, so when you're at Fresh and Easy, when you go through the checkout and you do your own checkout, you see a big sign at the end and it says, "We are proud donors to the San Francisco Food Bank." So have you guys ever noticed when you look at food at Fresh and Easy, it says it expires on this day?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Okay, so once that food gets to a certain date, they can't sell it at the store anymore. So what they do is they donate that food to the food bank, and they get it there very, very fast because that food is still good to be eaten, but they're not allowed to sell it. So what the food bank does is takes that food and figures out how much longer it's going to be good for people to eat, and then they get it back out into the community through the different food pantries like the one that we're at right now. Hold on one second. We'll get to questions. Keep trying to remember them. So all the food comes from all different places. Sometimes it comes from companies. They'll make, you guys know, different kinds of canned food, like a can of green beans, right?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes when they're manufacturing it in a company, they'll accidentally put a label on it that says corn, but there's green beans inside of it. So they can't sell that at a store. So that also goes to the food bank. So all this food gets collected, and then big trucks come and take it out to all the different food pantries in the city. So that's where we get our food from. So food gets dropped off in the back, and then the volunteers are gonna bring it all up. And they're gonna set it up so there's one kind of food on each table. And so when the people come through, they're gonna get one thing from each of the tables. And what you guys are gonna do, you're gonna arrive in the middle of that. So you're going to go straight to a spot with an adult, and you're gonna actually hand out the food. Okay, so let's do a round of questions right now, and then we'll keep going. Okay, you had your hand up first.
Are we gonna like carry a lot of food?
That's a great question. So the people who are here before you when you're still in school, they're gonna carry out the food. What you're gonna be doing is you're gonna have a table, and there's gonna be boxes of food all over it.
Are we gonna like carry it to the table?
No, the food will already be in the table when you get here. It'll be all set up for you. So you're just gonna walk up and you're gonna stand behind the table, and they're gonna tell you how many to give out to each person. So say you're in charge of the oranges, and they'll say you need to give out 3 oranges to each person. So you grab those oranges and you put 3 in each person's bag that comes around. Okay? Good question. Yes.
Can the people that have been here before show where the back is?
Yes, I will have you guys help lead us when we do the tour. And also for those of you who have been here before, it would be really good if when you come here tomorrow, maybe you want to pick somebody who hasn't been here before to be at your table to help them, and so you can kind of show them what you did last time.
And last time I was at the orange and carrots.
You were at the orange table, okay. So, okay, yes.
This is another out here. What happens like to food that like say something entirely like stops selling there? What happens to that?
Like if it goes bad?
I'm not sure if it goes bad or not. I'm just saying that like say a grocery store stopped entirely selling.
Oh, the whole grocery store went away?
No. I mean just a food. Right?
One certain thing stopped selling. Well, then we wouldn't have that anymore. And so the food that we get at the food pantry completely depends on what the stores do have and what's in season around here. So we don't really get to choose what we have. It's just what is left over. Yeah.
Sarah, can you talk a little bit about who comes to the food pantry?
Yes, that's
and how they are become eligible to be able to get food?
Okay. So hold on. We're gonna do another round of questions in a little bit. So the people that come to the food pantry are typically seniors in the neighborhood. Seniors means people who are usually over about the age 60, and they're usually retired, so they're not working anymore. So a lot of those people are also considered low to moderate income because they're not working anymore, and so they don't have an income coming in. So this is a way for them to get more food to take home for their family. A lot of the people that come to the food pantry don't speak any English. I would say about 73% of the people who come here are Chinese. And I think we are at about 20% of the people that come here are Russian. And then we have a bunch of other groups that are also represented. At any point in the whole period, I'm not gonna be there, but Jen, who's in charge with me, she will be there. At any point, if you don't know what you're supposed to do or what somebody's saying, or you feel nervous or you don't know what to do, just talk to Jen. Jen will always be right in the middle, and she will be able to help you with anything like that. And typically people will just smile and move by and say thank you. But if you get in a situation where you feel like you want to know what they're saying, you can ask Jen to help you. And Jen, she speaks Chinese and also can help you get in touch with somebody else, one of the other volunteers that maybe does speak that language.
And each of you girls will have your grown-ups with you at the table with you, so you will not be by yourselves as you're working at the food pantry.
Okay.
I've never really been here I've never really done this, so I don't know where this.
I know.
Anna, I will help you.
Yeah, and we're gonna do a little tour. We're just inside right now because it's cold and windy, but we're gonna do a tour so that when you get here, you feel like you know where to go. Okay? That's a good concern.
When they get here, you said that we're going to be at different tables, so will they ask you what food they want?
That's an awesome question. Okay, so everybody who comes here, there's gonna be about 350 people that come through here. But they all have a certain appointment time. So they know when they get here, they have a little tag that has a color on it. And that color tells them what time they're supposed to be here. So they're not all gonna show up at one time. So we only let 10 people through at a time, and it's a line. So, and it's gonna look like this. This might be the orange table. So I go over here, and they know they're supposed to give me 3 oranges. So they put the 3 oranges in my bag, and I say thank you, and then I go to this table, and they have cereal, and they know they're supposed to give me 1 cereal. And I say thank you, and I go to the next table, and they have carrots and they have potatoes too, and they know they're supposed to give me 5 carrots and 5 potatoes. Thank you. So it's gonna be like that. We're gonna have little setups all around, and these people know that they're supposed to follow around in the line. The only option that they have is if they don't want it. So you might be giving out the bread and they say no, 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 and that's okay. But they can't have extra. Everybody gets the same amount, and you'll know that amount before you start handing it out, okay?
I have 2 questions.
Okay, part 1.
Is there going to be like a sticky note or something to remind you
Yes.
how many?
It will be written. That's a great question. It's going to be written on the box in permanent marker. It'll say 2 on the big box of oranges, so you know that you're supposed to give out 2.
Okay, now I have
Part
another
2.
question.
Mhm.
What if they don't want something and they speak another language? What should you do?
That's another good question. If they say no, they don't want it, then that's fine. Just don't give it to them. And typically, they know to say, you know how we were talking about ways to communicate without words?
Yeah.
They'll know to just say no thanks, or to show you that they don't want it, like that with their body. Okay, yeah.
Sir, are the people who come through the market able to touch the food at all?
That's a great question. So that brings up 2 things for me. You guys in the room right now are the only people that are allowed to touch the food when it's on the table. And that keeps it so that people can't put their hands in and grab more than the amount that they're supposed to. So you're gonna be the one touching the food, and you're gonna put it down in their bag for them. The other thing that is important to remember, since you are going to be the people touching the food, can you think of anything that would be important to make sure that you did if you're gonna touch food?
Wash your hands. Or put gloves on.
Yes, exactly, or both. So we're gonna make sure that before we hand out any food that's not in a can or a bag, that you have gloves on, and there'll be gloves out there. And one thing that I wanna say, in order to not have a lot of trash, is that everybody only gets 1 set of gloves for the whole time. So if your hands are getting sticky and they feel weird, you can take them out and go to the bathroom and wash them, and I'll show you guys where the bathroom is, and then put your gloves back on. So make sure that you always have gloves, and then when you're done, you're gonna definitely wanna wash your hands.